So I want to turn my attention to the Prove It Virtual Enterprise C. This is perhaps the lowest digital maturity enterprise and has some of the most challenging problems with acquiring data. Most of the data is in PDF files or in images, so let's see how MIStudio can address this problem. Here I have a way to read an image on the screen, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to read a chromatography P&I diagram that will give me the information, the correspondence between all of the various components on that screen. So what I want to do is I want to take this image and turn it into something that's machine usable. And so I have my image here. I have a prompt here that simply says, go and extract everything you know about that image and provide it to me in a format that I can use in a machine application. And that's what happened here. When I pushed the Analyze Image button, it went through and it told me everything I need to know about that. Now I have that data here, and this data I can then start working with. And so what we're postulating here, what we're emulating here is a diagnostic, a problem-solving screen. And what I want to know is, on my P&I diagram, I have measurement points. And what I'd like to know is what the values of those measurement points are. Those measurement points are in the UNS already. So if I subscribe to all the chromatography UNS tags, then I can start to find out what tags are available to me. And if I then start analyzing the information that's provided to me, I can find out what measurement points are available in that P&I diagram while these topics accumulate. Once I perform that analysis and I know where all my measurement points are, then I can start to say, well, what am I going to do with this? And what I want to do is I want to find all the UNS topics that match the measurement points I have on my screen here. So that's simply a matter of saying, hey, now I've got the data in of all the measurement points. What I want to do is I want to match those measurement points with the UNS topics. And what we'll see happen is this UNS subscribe component will then go and subscribe to all the UNS topics that match the measurement points from the P&ID. And so here we have it. It's subscribed to a number of topics here in the UNS. And then what it does is it simply takes the values from that and it populates a spreadsheet with the values it found for valid measurement points. So clearly as a demo, I've done this by pushing a number of buttons, but quite simply, the input to this whole sequence could have been something like an alarm from a PLC, an alarm from a process, and that stream could have happened in one continuous flow. And so I could have gone directly from having an alarm on a process to having data shown up on the screen. I don't like using the word agent when I'm referring to AI because I'm never entirely sure what an agent is. The word seems to be overused and its meaning seems to have been diluted. But if you want to know what Agentic-AI is when stripped of all its marketing fluff, you just saw it. It's the ability to link together large language model prompts, AI prompts, and heuristic data, the data that I got from the UNS, into one path that ends up with the result I want, which is I want to be able to see this data on the screen. So it's true Agentic-AI and it's drag and drop within MIStudio. Now I want to go back to the beginning because this image that I read doesn't change. And so I have no reason to go through this LLM prompt every time and say what's in this image. What I really want is this text that's stored in this component here. So if I do that, then we have what is the Ergotech knowledge base. And what's happened here is this has worked against the FTP server. It's got the information on all the PDF files that are stored in that FTP server. And it's done the analysis that we saw on the other screen through the LLMs and stored the text that's associated with that. So with that information, I can start asking questions of this process. One thing I can easily ask is, hey, what materials do I need to run this process? And by choosing that materials list, I'll get a whole list of materials. Now, this could be a real query. I'm querying for a whole set of things, but I could, for instance, ask, how many dissolved oxygen probes do I need for this? How many liters of base solution? What else do I need? So I could be asking side-by-side questions, but here, just for simplicity, I've said, I want to know every possible material. And so I get my materials list from this. And since we've analyzed this document completely, we've gone through this whole indexing process, I can also get hold of data that might otherwise not be obviously available. So this hand-typed data, this handwritten data here, is available to me as part of this process. And I can simply go and say, who signed this document? And I'll get a complete list of everybody who signed that document. And all this is done without going back to the original PDFs, because I've indexed them so it's fast, it's efficient, and I can ask any queries from that data. Thank you.